Okay, so we got the engine back on the Mustang. In case anybody's ever had one of these classic old cars, and you always wonder why it drips a lot on the garage. I want to show you how complicated the oil pan gasket is and how it interfaces with the engine. First of all, look, got a brand new clutch. Woohoo! Got that on there finally. You can see it's got two different kinds of screws here. It's because when we started putting the screws back in on the pressure plate, the couple of screws broke. So we took the class 5 screws and put class 8 screws in there, and we had to strip them out. So we rethreaded them at a 1/2 inch. These used to be 5/16. So I don't think that clutch is coming off. And to make it balanced, we did it on all 3 places so that they all had the same balance because it's a bigger screw. Only one of them actually broke, but just to make sure it was balanced, we went ahead and did it on all 3 different locations. So there's one bigger screw in the same location on all 3 bolting points. So let's get back to this gasket. So oil pan goes on the bottom of the engine. This is the bottom of the engine. I don't know if you can see these are the connecting rods that go to the pistons. And on the bottom of the engine, there's where the main bearings are. There's this rounded gasket surface. So they have a rubber gasket that goes in a groove. Here's a. I think I have an old one. Anyway, so the rubber gasket goes through there, and if you can see, there's a slot in the top of the rubber gasket where the tip of this cork gasket goes on. The cork gasket then continues on, and you really can't see right here. There's an interface right at this point right here. You can see better down here. This right here is the timing chain cover, and the interface between the two, you have to get that nice and level and flat. So when you put this in and you put the gasket in here, you have to make sure that when you're tightening it that you don't make a groove here or a gap that's going to make the gasket leak in that area. So anyway, it continues across with this complicated little connection here, and then it comes down in, and again it connects to another rubber gasket that goes across the front main seal on the front main bearing, and connects across there. The whole process is completed across the bottom with the same thing coming across the back here. So you can see how complicated it is to get an oil pan gasket to be installed out of the engine and be not to leak. There you go. 1967 Mustang sedan with the inline 6. This is a 200cc inline straight 6 engine.